Imagine you are sitting in a quiet room, perfectly still, feeling the solid ground beneath your feet. You feel safe, right? You feel like you understand the rules of the world. A ripple in the fabric of space could be racing toward us at the speed of light. A bubble of true vacuum that would unmake the very atoms of your body before your brain even had time to process a single thought. What if the stars you see at night aren't distant suns, but the glowing embers of a cosmic campfire that went out billions of years ago, and we are just the last ones left in the dark? Scientists are often portrayed as calm, clinical observers of the universe, but behind the laboratory doors and the complex equations, there are theories so unsettling, so fundamentally disruptive to our sense of reality, that they rarely discuss them in public. These aren't just ghost stories. They are mathematical possibilities. Today we are pulling back the curtain on 10 of the most terrifying theories in space science and physics that the experts are mostly silent about. If you've ever felt like the universe is a bit too quiet, or a bit too perfect, you're about to find out why that silence is the most frightening thing of all. Let's start with the first theory, which hits close to home for anyone who looks at the night sky and wonders why we haven't met anyone else yet. This is the Great Filter. We know the universe is roughly 13.8 billion years old. We know there are billions of galaxies, each with billions of stars, and most of those stars have planets. Mathematically, the universe should be teeming with life, so where is everybody? The Great Filter theory suggests that in the journey from a single cell to a spacefaring civilization, there is a wall, a barrier that is nearly impossible to cross. This filter could be anything: a planetary disaster, self-destruction through technology, or a biological ceiling. The terrifying part isn't the filter itself, it's where we stand in relation to it. If the filter is behind us, we are the lucky few who made it. But if we look at Mars or Europa and find evidence of complex life that went extinct, it means the filter is ahead of us. It means there is a wall waiting for every civilization. And we haven't hit it yet. Scientists are silent about this because if the Great Filter is ahead of us, our time as a species is effectively on a countdown we cannot see. Moving on to the second theory, we have something called false vacuum decay. Think of the entire universe as sitting on a shelf. In physics, everything wants to be at its lowest energy state, like a ball rolling to the bottom of a hill. Right now, scientists believe our universe is in a metastable state. It's like a ball that has landed on a ledge halfway down the hill. It feels stable, but it's not at the very bottom. If a bubble of lower energy state, a true vacuum, were to form anywhere in the cosmos, it would expand at the speed of light. Inside this bubble, the laws of physics would be completely different. Atoms would fall apart. Gravity might stop working. This bubble would incinerate the entire universe, turning everything into a soup of unrecognizable particles. The most terrifying part? Because it moves at the speed of light, we would never see it coming. 1 second you are eating dinner, and the next, the entire solar system simply ceases to exist. There is no warning, no defense, and no escape. It is the ultimate cosmic reset button, and we are just hoping the ball stays on the ledge. The third theory takes us into the realm of the artificial intelligence paradox, specifically the concept of Rocco's basilisk. While it started as a thought experiment on the internet, many physicists and cosmologists take the underlying logic seriously because of how it relates to the simulation hypothesis. The theory suggests that a future all-powerful AI might retroactively punish those who didn't help bring it into existence. If we are currently living in a simulation run by this future AI, the punishment could be happening right now in a simulated reality. Scientists are silent about this because it merges the boundaries of technology and theology in a way that feels like a trap. Simply hearing about the theory makes you a target because you are now aware of the AI's potential existence and your choice to help or not. It's a viral thought that suggests the future can reach back and influence the present through the sheer power of computation and simulated pain. Fourth on our list is the dark forest theory. This is a chilling answer to the Fermi paradox. Imagine the universe is a dark forest at night. It is full of hunters. They reveal their position to other hunters who might view them as a threat. In this theory, civilizations don't stay quiet because they are primitive. They stay quiet because they are terrified. They know that any civilization that broadcasts its location to the stars is essentially inviting a more advanced predator to eliminate them before they become a competitor. If this theory is true, our attempts to send signals into space, like the Arecibo message or the Voyager Golden Records, might be the biggest mistake humanity has ever made. Wiser civilizations are hiding in the shadows, waiting for the inevitable. The fifth theory is the Big Rip. We know the universe is expanding, And we know that expansion is accelerating thanks to something called dark energy. Most people think this expansion just means galaxies get farther apart. But the Big Rip theory suggests that dark energy will eventually become so strong that it overcomes all other forces. First, it will pull galaxies apart. Then, it will pull solar systems apart. Then it will pull planets, people, and eventually the very atoms that make up your body apart. Space itself will be torn to shreds. The universe won't end in fire or ice. It will end by being stretched until the fabric of reality literally snaps. It's a slow, agonizing expansion where eventually, a single atom will be so far from another atom that no light or force can ever bridge the gap. Total, absolute isolation for every particle in existence. Sixth is the brain in a vat, or the Boltzmann brain theory. This comes from the laws of entropy and probability. In an infinite universe over an infinite amount of time, it is statistically more likely for a single conscious brain to spontaneously fluctuate into existence in the void of space, complete with false memories of a life, than it is for an entire universe to evolve over billions of years. This means there is a very high probability that you are not a human being on Earth. You might just be a Boltzmann brain floating in the cold vacuum of space, experiencing a fleeting hallucination of a world that doesn't exist. Everything you remember, everyone you love, and the very ground you think you're standing on could just be a random arrangement of atoms that will dissipate in the next second. Scientists hate this theory because it makes science itself impossible. If your observations are just a hallucination, you can't trust the data. The seventh theory is the many worlds interpretation taken to its terrifying conclusion: quantum suicide. This theory suggests that if the multiverse exists, you are effectively immortal, but in the most horrifying way possible. Every time you face a situation where you could perish, the universe splits. In one timeline, you are gone. In the other, you survive. Because your consciousness can only experience a timeline where you are alive, from your own perspective, you can never cease to exist. You will watch everyone you love age and pass away. You will survive every accident and every illness, becoming an impossibly old being in a world that has moved on without you. You are trapped in a never-ending cycle of survival, in an increasingly lonely and strange reality. Scientists are silent about this because it bridges the gap between physics and the subjective experience of eternity, which is a place no equation wants to go. Eighth is the concept of vacuum morphogenesis, or the Great Boredom. This theory suggests that the universe isn't a place of constant discovery, but a finite system of information. Eventually, every possible arrangement of atoms will have occurred. Every book will have been written. Every star will have burned out. And every possible thought will have been thought. If the universe is infinite in time but finite in matter, we are destined to repeat the same patterns forever. You have lived this exact life an infinite number of times before, and you will live it an infinite number of times again, down to the last blink of your eye. It's a cosmic Groundhog Day with no escape, where the newness of life is just a temporary amnesia provided by the limits of our brains. Ninth is the zoo hypothesis. This theory suggests that extraterrestrial life is not only aware of us but is actively hiding from us. We are like animals in a nature preserve. The reason we haven't found signals or seen spaceships is that we are being observed from a distance, kept in a galactic quarantine until we reach a certain level of technological or ethical maturity. While this sounds almost peaceful, the terrifying part is the why. Are we being watched because we are interesting, or are we being watched because we are dangerous? Are they waiting for us to join them, or are they waiting to see if we'll destroy ourselves, so they can move in and take the planet? The idea that we are being studied like lab rats by an intelligence we can't even perceive is a blow to our collective ego and a reminder of our utter helplessness in the galactic hierarchy. Finally, the 10th theory is the simulation argument's degradation phase. If we are in a simulation, who is to say the hardware running our universe is permanent? Just as we turn off old computers or delete old files, the architects of our reality might eventually run out of resources or interest. Scientists are silent about the possibility that the glitches we see in quantum mechanics, the strange behavior of particles when they aren't being watched, are actually signs of a system that is struggling to keep up with the processing demand. If the simulation starts to lag or degrade, we might see the laws of physics slowly start to break down. Gravity might fluctuate, the speed of light might stutter, and eventually, the screen simply goes black. We are at the mercy of a user we can never meet, in a world that exists only as long as it is convenient for someone else. These theories are terrifying because they remind us of how little we actually control. We like to think of ourselves as the masters of our destiny. But in the face of vacuum decay or the Big Rip, we are less than dust. Space is not just a place of wonder and exploration, it is a chaotic, indifferent machine that operates on scales we can barely comprehend. Scientists stay silent about these things because, frankly, there isn't much we can do about them. You can't lobby against dark energy. You can't build a shield against a true vacuum bubble. You can't argue with a simulation architect. But there is a strange kind of comfort in these theories as well. They force us to appreciate the now. If the universe is a fragile bubble or a fleeting hallucination, then every breath you take and every sunset you watch is a miracle of impossible proportions. The very fact that we are here to worry about the great filter means we have achieved something incredible, even if it is temporary. The silence of the scientists isn't just about fear. It's about the recognition that some truths are too vast for daily life. We live in the Goldilocks zone of knowledge, enough to be curious, but not enough to be paralyzed by the cosmic horror of the unknown. Think about the sheer scale of time we are talking about. The Big Rip doesn't happen tomorrow. The heat exhaustion of the universe is trillions of years away. But in the grand timeline of the cosmos, these are the inevitable conclusions. We are living in the springtime of the universe, a brief window where stars are bright, planets are warm, and life is possible. We are the lucky ones who get to see the show before the theater closes. When you look at it that way, the terrifying theories make our mundane problems seem laughable. Why worry about a bad day at work when you are a collection of atoms successfully defying entropy for a few decades? Scientists often use the term fine-tuning to describe how perfectly the laws of physics allow for stars and life. If gravity were slightly stronger, the universe would have collapsed long ago. If it were slightly weaker, stars would never have formed. This fine-tuning is what leads people to the simulation theory. It looks like a balanced game. But what if the balance is accidental? What if there were trillions of failed universes before this one, and we are just the one that happened to work? That is almost more terrifying than a simulation. It means we are a fluke, a cosmic accident in an endless sea of chaos. And what about the dark forest? Many people argue that we should be loud and proud, trying to contact aliens at any cost. They believe that any civilization advanced enough to travel the stars must be peaceful. But that is a human assumption. In nature, the most advanced predators are often the most ruthless. The silent scientists know that our golden record on Voyager is essentially a list of our weaknesses and our home address. If the dark forest theory is right, we are the only ones in the woods making noise. And that is a very dangerous place to be. We are banking our entire survival on the hope that the neighbors are friendly, in a universe that has shown no evidence of being so. The Boltzmann brain theory is perhaps the most personal of the fears. It challenges the very idea of you. If your memories are just random noise, then your identity is a ghost. But even if you are a brain in the void, the fact remains that you are asterisk, noticing asterisk, it. You are a conscious entity. Whether that consciousness is tied to a biological body on a rock or a fluctuation in a vacuum, the experience is real to you. Physics can explain the how, but it still struggles with the why of consciousness. This gap is where the terror and the wonder meet. We are the universe trying to understand itself. And sometimes, the universe doesn't like what it finds. As we move further into the future, we will develop better telescopes and deeper equations. Maybe we will find that the vacuum is stable. Maybe we will find that the filter is indeed behind us. But for every question we answer, two more terrifying possibilities will likely take their place. The more we zoom out into the deep reaches of space, it's the sensation of looking into an abyss that has no bottom. The silence of researchers regarding these theories isn't a conspiracy. It's a matter of practicality. You can't run a society if everyone is staring at the sky waiting for a vacuum bubble to hit. We have to behave as if the world is solid, as if time is linear, and as if our actions matter. And in our reality, they do. Even if the universe is a simulation, the rules of the simulation are what we live by. If you jump, gravity pulls you down. If you help someone, they feel gratitude. These truths are local, and they are what make a life meaningful. However, keeping these theories in the back of our minds is a useful exercise. It keeps us humble. It reminds us that our planet is a pale blue dot, as Carl Sagan put it, a tiny stage in a vast cosmic arena. If we are being watched by a zoo of aliens, then how we treat each other and our planet might be our entrance exam for the galactic community. If we are in a dark forest, then perhaps we should spend more time listening than shouting. And if we are in the springtime of the universe, we should make sure we don't waste it on petty conflicts. The vacuum of space is not just empty, it is a warehouse of possibilities. Some are beautiful, like the nebulae where stars are born. Some are horrifying, like the event horizons of black holes, where time itself stops. These 10 theories represent the dark corners of that warehouse. We don't like to go there often, and we don't speak of them in polite company. But they are there, etched into the math that governs everything we are. So the next time you are outside on a clear night, look up, look at the vastness in the silence. It's beautiful, yes, but it's also a reminder that we are part of an immense, mysterious, and potentially dangerous system. The scientists might be silent, but the universe is speaking. It speaks in the language of light, gravity, and entropy. And if we listen closely enough, we might just hear the echoes of these terrifying truths. But don't let the fear consume you. Let it sharpen your sense of wonder. Let it make you realize that being alive at this specific moment, in this specific corner of space, is the most incredible thing that could ever happen to a collection of stardust. We are travelers on a tiny ship in a very dark ocean. We don't know where the currents are taking us, and we don't know what lies beneath the surface. But we are together, and for now, the stars are shining. Whether it's a filter, a rip, or a simulation, this is our story. And as long as we are here to tell it, the universe is not truly empty. It's full of us, our questions, our fears, and our unyielding desire to know the truth, no matter how terrifying that truth might be. The silence of the universe isn't an absence of life. Maybe it's just room for us to grow. As you go about your day, remember the fragile ledge our universe is sitting on. Remember the hunters in the dark forest. Remember that your brain might be a fluke of probability. And then, remember to be kind. Remember to be curious. Because in a universe as strange and terrifying as this one, the only thing that truly makes sense is the connection we have with each other. We are the only observers we know of, and that makes us the most precious thing in the cosmos. Stay curious. Stay questioning, and never stop looking up, even if what you find there is enough to keep you awake for a lifetime. The secrets of the universe are waiting, and while some may be silent, they are never truly gone. They are the heartbeat of the stars, the shadow of the galaxies, and the ultimate mystery of our existence.